Fight Club opens with a cryptic line: "Everything is a copy of a copy of a copy." But what does that mean? At first glance, it feels like a critique of consumerism, a world where we chase material possessions, all manufactured en masse, void of originality or meaning. But dig deeper, and you'll see layers that critique not just consumerism, but also the inherent flaws of capitalism and the shadows of socialism. Our narrator, played by Edward Norton, is the embodiment of the modern consumer. Trapped in a corporate job, he seeks solace in material possessions, believing they define him. But is this consumerism, or is it capitalism? The line blurs as capitalism feeds the machine that produces these desires, mass marketing individuality in prepackaged boxes. And yet, beneath the surface lies an aching void. The narrator attends support groups, not because he's sick, but because he craves something money can't buy: connection, purpose, meaning. His world is a hollow reflection of a system that promises freedom but delivers isolation. Enter Tyler Durden. He's everything the narrator is not: confident, rebellious, and utterly untethered by societal norms. Tyler doesn't just reject consumerism, he dismantles it. His disdain for materialism fuels his ideology. The things you own end up owning you. But Tyler's philosophy isn't just anti-consumerist. It's a brutal takedown of capitalism's core promise, that happiness can be bought. Through Tyler, the movie critiques capitalism's darker truths. Take his infamous soap-making monologue: "We were raised to believe we'd all be millionaires, movie gods, rock stars, but we won't. And we're learning that fact." It's a scathing indictment of the American dream, a dream that Tyler argues is nothing more than a corporate lie. But here's where things get murkier. Fight Club itself becomes a rejection of societal norms, not just capitalism, but all structures that bind us. These men find freedom in chaos, power in pain, and unity in destruction. Is this anarchy, nihilism, or something else entirely? Through Tyler, Fight Club suggests that freedom comes not from accumulation, but from letting go, from destroying the constructs we've been taught to believe in. But is this liberation, or just another illusion? Fight Club's raw appeal lies in its rejection of societal norms. In the basement, stripped of jobs, titles, and possessions, the men experience an intoxicating freedom. But as the movement grows, so does its complexity. What begins as rebellion against consumerism starts to mirror the very systems it opposes. The irony is clear. Fight Club, created as a refuge from control, becomes a highly regulated cult. Tyler's rules, strict, unquestionable, and absolute, contradict the freedom he preaches. This isn't just rebellion, it's a new form of conformity, where individuality is sacrificed for a collective purpose. In this way, Fight Club critiques not just capitalism or consumerism, but the human need for validation. The men in Fight Club trade one system of control for another, finding identity not in possessions, but in Tyler's ideology. The shift is stark, from "I am defined by what I own" to "I am defined by what I destroy." This evolution culminates in Project Mayhem, Tyler's master plan to reset the system. On the surface, it's anarchistic, a rebellion against capitalism and consumerism. But scratch deeper, and it reveals a troubling truth. Even chaos can become institutionalized. The men follow orders blindly, losing the very autonomy they sought to reclaim. Tyler's vision of liberation becomes indistinguishable from control. He replaces one system with another, his charisma overshadowing critical thought. The narrator begins to see this, questioning Tyler's motives and his own complicity. But by then, it's too late. Tyler's grip is unrelenting. Amidst the madness, Marla Singer stands as a reminder of what's real. Her messy, unapologetic existence is a counterpoint to Tyler's polished philosophy. While the men in Fight Club seek meaning in destruction, Marla finds it in simply surviving. She doesn't need validation from Tyler or the narrator. She's the embodiment of raw individuality. By the end of this section, the film challenges us to ask, is true freedom even possible? Or are we always bound by our need for purpose, whether it's through possessions, rebellion, or belonging? Tyler Durden's philosophy is as seductive as it is dangerous. He offers the men in Fight Club something they've never had: freedom from a consumer-driven identity. But as his ideas unfold, we must ask, does Tyler offer true liberation, or is he manipulating the very people he claims to empower? Tyler preaches that pain is the ultimate teacher, a way to strip away the artificial layers imposed by society. His methods are brutal, but they resonate with the men who have been numbed by the monotony of modern life. The lie burn isn't just physical, it's symbolic. Tyler forces them to confront the fragility of their existence. In the basement of Fight Club, Tyler's message is clear. You are not your job. You are not the contents of your wallet. For the first time, these men feel alive, but the euphoria is fleeting. Tyler's philosophy, while liberating, comes with a cost. It requires submission to his vision, his rules. The turning point comes when the narrator realizes Tyler's ideas aren't as pure as they seem. Tyler isn't just rejecting consumerism, he's replacing it with a new ideology. The men in Project Mayhem become pawns in his grand experiment, trading one form of control for another. This is the paradox of Tyler Durden. He rails against the system, but builds his own. He preaches individuality, yet demands obedience. His followers may feel liberated, but their actions are dictated by Tyler's will. He becomes the very thing he despises, a leader enforcing conformity under the guise of freedom. Tyler's most dangerous weapon isn't his charisma, it's the illusion of choice. The narrator believes he's in control, but Tyler has been pulling the strings all along. And when the truth is revealed, that Tyler is a projection of the narrator's own mind, it forces us to question everything we've seen so far. Tyler represents more than rebellion. He's the embodiment of unchecked desire, rage, and ego. He's a seductive force, but ultimately, he's destructive, not just to society, but to the individual. Fight Club's conclusion is as unforgettable as it is chaotic. With the narrator's world literally crumbling, we're left to piece together the final message. Is this an anti-capitalist manifesto, a cautionary tale about extremism, or something else entirely? The film's climax hinges on one key realization. The narrator and Tyler are the same person. This isn't just a plot twist, it's a revelation that reframes the entire movie. Tyler isn't real. He's the narrator's way of coping with a life that feels meaningless and hollow. But by the end, the narrator has to make a choice: continue down Tyler's destructive path or reclaim his identity. By pulling the trigger, the narrator symbolically kills the part of himself that Tyler represents: the anger, the chaos, the desire to burn it all down. It's a violent and visceral act, but it's also a moment of clarity. The narrator realizes that true freedom doesn't come from destruction, it comes from self-awareness and agency. And yet, Fight Club leaves us with an unsettling image. The narrator might have defeated Tyler, but the world around him is still in ruins. This begs the question: did he truly escape Tyler's influence, or has he simply embraced a different version of it? In the end, Fight Club isn't about choosing between capitalism and consumerism, or even about rejecting them entirely. It's about the human need for meaning, connection, and identity. The narrator's journey is a reminder that extremism, whether it's in the form of blind consumerism or radical rebellion, isn't the answer. The truth lies somewhere in between. Fight Club doesn't give us easy answers, and that's why it remains so compelling. It's a film that challenges us to confront our own contradictions, to question the systems we live within, and to seek meaning beyond the chaos. Maybe that's the real fight, to reconcile who we are with who we want to be.